four young people have all got very large portfolios. So how many of you guys would like to know how to start? So Randy, why don't you go first? Because your start was like, you gave a lot to get started.
Yeah, my name's Randy Horner. So I've been in for about 12 years, bought my first house in 2014. I will say I knew nothing. I didn't have rooms like this. And somebody talked earlier about so somebody earlier asked me how long it took me to build my portfolio. I think somebody earlier said also don't compare yourself to other people.
That's right.
That's the thief of joy. So I started off very slow. My first 4 years was just one house each year. House hacked each house and rented out the house before. But like I said, I didn't know anything.
How'd you come up with the down payment, Randy?
I knew that was coming. So I had roommates working my job, but for the first 2 years in real estate, being I didn't know anything about private money, I don't know if anybody's ever heard anything about donating plasma.
Anybody ever donated plasma in the room? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I donated plasma twice a week, every week for 2 years straight, just to save up money for down payments. It doesn't pay a lot. Maybe about $300
But it did
a month.
pay, though, because look at your cash flow and equity.
Oh, yes. At the time, it didn't pay much. You know, you're laying there for an hour.
You didn't use it to buy beers. You know what I mean?
No, definitely not. But loved it. It worked out, you know.
So what about the people that just make excuses, Randy? Because you're a no excuse guy. Like you like put your arm out and said, take my plasma. You saved the money and made a down payment.
So people who have excuses, this is going to sound weird. I don't know how to relate to them.
Yeah.
Because that's not my life. Whether it's real estate or if it was running track and cross country or anything I've done in my life, I don't know how to relate to somebody who is lazy, somebody who just has excuses. I don't comprehend.
You can have excuses or you can have results. The choice is yours, right?
Correct.
And do you have a wedding date coming up?
Not a date yet, but
Close.
this summer sometime.
Okay. All right. Now I'm going to go to the other end. Zach, you were a Dealmaker 2 years ago and you had 4 rentals. How many do you have now? How many doors?
160.
So does anybody wonder how he did that? He went from 4 to 160.
I had 6.
And how old are you?
I'm 24.
24. All right, I don't know about everyone else here, but I'm wondering like how he did it. Because I like to think big, like no limits, right? But he comes to Dealmaker, and then he shows up today and he tells me this, and I'm like, no way. How did you do it?
There's a lot of answers to that. I think probably one of the biggest things is all of us need to figure out exactly what side of the business you want to be on and at what scale you want to do it. And so I decided that I wanted to try to grow a big rental business. I'm very localized in Lynchburg, Virginia, about 2 hours away.
Thank you.
So I wanted to build a business that can have some impact in my community, and so that was my goal. And so from that,
It's a good mission, right?
From that, then I set annual goals and quarterly goals and all those
Annual
sorts of things
goals to young men in their early 20s set annual goals. That is awesome. All right, continue on.
I guess some do. I don't know. But yeah, so 2 years ago I was here. I had 6 rentals, not 4. I had 6 rentals at the time. My goal for that next year was to buy 12, and I bought 14 more. And then my goal for last year was to buy 100, and I bought 90, so I didn't hit it. And then this year, I'm kind of on track I bought about 50, and I've got 40 under contract. So I've got a bunch more, hopefully, in the pipeline this year.
So tell us a little bit about some of those deals that allow you to scale. Did you go like from single families to duplexes, quads, and multifamily, mobile home parks? Like, what did you do?
Yeah, I own a handful of mobile home parks, and then bunch of multifamily and a bunch of single family. So probably I buy a bunch of individual deals, one-offs here and there all the time. But the biggest thing that helps me jump each month to more is buying either mobile home parks, multifamily, or package deals. I really love single family
Lori's
packages.
favorite too.
So I've bought a bunch of just packages of single family homes.
And who in here loves wobbly wheels, mobile homes, and trailers? How about a big Yahoo or something, right? Peggy deals, for instance, Dealmaker C. And so we got a lot coming up on that. Tomorrow we're going to talk about, Major is going to talk about mobile home parks. All right, Martine, or should I say Coach Martine, for a 2-year anniversary now. We've been friends a long time now. Like we were both young when I met you.
So I found out today someone named me a Dealmaker baby.
Oh, I like
because
it.
when I first started getting into real estate, I started coming to Dealmaker, and it changed my life.
Well, I don't know. You're trying to make me cry or something?
No, someone named me
All
that
right.
today.
So, like, you used to wholesale, and I would buy stuff from you. I don't know about you, Martine. One year I wholesaled 120 houses. I wish I had just bought and hold like 20 of those.
Yeah.
But you pivoted pretty quick. And how'd you start doing it?
Well, I got my first rental property by accident. I wanted to have freedom in this business, and I thought that me wholesaling was freedom, but I didn't make any money unless I worked. So I would go into everybody's house, and I would ask them, do you want to cash off, or would you take payments? And,
Oh, sounds familiar, Leon.
yeah, and it's a voice in your head. It's like, nobody's going to take payments. Like, why would they do that? And everyone said they would take the cash offer until I got the one guy that said he'd take the payments. And I'm like, oh my God, how do you even do that? I don't know how to structure the deal or anything. So I told him, I'm going to research it, and I'm going to see how we can structure this. So I figured out how to do it, and it opened my eyes to what is possible when you have rental properties, because I was getting a check for the same house that I had done a long time ago, month after month after month. And because I started with wholesaling, I was already good at finding good deals. So what the missing piece was, how could I keep these deals? And because he opened my eyes, it allowed me to kind of dive in the world of private lending, and because I was able to get things at such good deals, I didn't have to put any of my money in the deal. People were making great returns. I was building my portfolio, and it just was amazing.
And now you're a coach. Like, I guess you don't want to talk about it, so I'm going to bring it up. Because, Martine, that's what I do, right? So tell us a little bit about your coaching.
Yeah, so I have a group. It's called the Freedom Inc. If you want to join on
Some
Facebook,
of you guys
it's
are
free.
here. Give a shout out to your crew or whatever.
Yeah, the fam. I have a couple of fam members in the hallway, it looks like. Oh, I see one is here.
Good.
But I guess everybody else in the hallway, they're networking. I told them to go do that.
Is Lindsay here? Is Lindsay
Is
Shepherd?
Lindsay's here? Yes.
Lindsay,
I hadn't seen
I
her.
haven't seen you yet.
Yeah, so the fam is in the building. I have a free Facebook group as well that has a lot of learning and resources for people that are trying to learn how to do this. But what I specifically help people do is to buy their first or their next rental property using little to none of your own money. In Martine's perfect world, none of your own money, but sometimes it takes a while for you to overcome that belief.
There you go. All right, Lori. Hello, Lori.
Hello.
There are so many stories you have,
I have a lot of stories.
but I love your overall projection on how you did this. I mean, it wasn't that many years ago. You were at like Dealmaker 2018 or whatever it was. You stood up and said you're going to quit Capital One.
Yeah.
And then you went and did it. And then you scaled. How'd you do that?
Yeah, it was pretty scary. I'm not gonna lie. It was a moment where you're working a full-time job, you're getting the kids out of.
How many kids do you have, mompreneur?
I have 5 kids.
5 kids. Oh my gosh.
It's multiple jobs, and you're trying to juggle it all. But I started in 2012 when I had 3 kids, and I was buying one at a time, very slow growth. And then 2015, 2016, I got my first portfolio deal, which allowed me to add 10 at one time, and it was about the same amount of work as buying just one.
And at least one of those was seller financed, right? In
All of
Hampton Road,
them.
all of them.
All
Tell
of
us a
them
little bit
were.
about that. How do
Yeah.
you seller finance a whole portfolio?
Yeah, it's just on one contract. It's just the same thing you would do for one property. You just inspect them all at the same time, and it's a lot less work, and more landlords are open to it because you're solving their tax problem, and you're taking
What
over.
tax problem would that be?
Yeah, so if they do take all the money from selling 10 properties, they may be hit by long-term capital gains. Whereas if they sell or finance it to someone and they're not taking all the money from the deal, they're not paying that large amount. And so you can really work with the landlord in really tax strategy. You always tell them, talk to their CPA, talk to their bookkeeper. And most of the time when they come back to you, they say, I have to do seller financing. There's no way I could afford to take the tax hit. So,
Lori, one of the things I love about you is you like to think big. Anyone else in the room like to think big? Lori's a big thinker. Like, she's got this resort thing in Ashland or Hanover, but she's bought other big things, and you actually had Michael Jordan's house under contract for a while. Not everybody can say that.
yeah, we never had it under contract, but we did do the trip, and we got to walk his property, and
Saw his basketball court.
yes, and we also had Eddie Murphy's house under contract in
Eddie
Vegas.
Murphy, I didn't even know that one.
We have really been
Funny.
thinking big for a long time, but it's funny because it's really about who's around you. And for those of you who know Ryan Mellon, really that's all it was
Yeah.
saying, hey, do you know Michael Jordan has a house problem? And then the next day Ryan calls me and he's like, yeah, I talked to his agent. We can go look at it.
So trip to Chicago, right?
It was a fun trip, but
So don't be afraid to think big.
yeah, don't be
And that
afraid.
one you didn't buy, so you had a way to exit, which was okay.
Yes, it was not a deal, but it was a lot of fun, and my kids will always remember it.
I'm sure they will.
Yeah.
And now you're working on memory care,
Yes, I'm
thinking
here
big.
with my partner Eric, and we bought a 40-room facility focused on memory care here in Richmond, and we were just approved the other week. It's a seller finance deal, a large purchase, and we can also subdivide the lot and build a whole nother facility. So it's something we're really passionate about, but because we're getting seller financing, we have to fund the full renovation. So we're using what we have. We're working on deals internally. We're hustling. We're deal making, and we're really able to self-fund this deal because we have been building.
Okay. All right, back to you, Randy. Randy's an awesome guy. I've had so much fun traveling with him, like Nicaragua, and man, I'll never forget Nicaragua or Guatemala just because of what happened in like your personal life. But let's talk about going from like a portfolio of 10 or 12 and wanting to go to like 20 or 25. What would you do? You were there.
Yeah. If I had to do it over again, I would
Yeah.
probably get my systems in place before I scaled. So
Good tip.
when we were both at Capital One, and I got laid off June 30th of 2021, and I was at 15 doors at the time. And so it took me a couple of months when I got laid off because I didn't have a job anymore. I wasn't prepared mentally for it. But after I took a couple of months to get myself situated, in that year I went from 15 to 60 in 1 year. But I was still doing things on an Excel spreadsheet.
15 to 60. That's a big jump.
Correct. And well, Lori, you were one of the people telling me Capital was actually holding me back at the time. Yes. I didn't quite believe it until it happened, But either way, going from 15 to 60 in 1 year, it was awesome. Sorry. But at the same time, I was still doing stuff on an Excel spreadsheet. I wasn't using Buildium. I was losing so much money in late fees and this and that, just not being organized. I was like, hey, I can do it. I'll figure it out. And so it took me probably a year after that to work backwards to get everything in place. So systems before you
It's a
grow
good
too
point,
quick.
processes. Man, I'll tell you what, Cheryl and I started being a landlord in our 20s, and we had no systems, no training, no rental application, no credit pull, and it was ugly. And until I learned how to do that and get those systems down, then it became easy, a lot easier. So it's a great point. All right, guys, I just want to say thank you, guys. How about a round of applause for our panel? You guys are awesome. Thank you. Oh, my gosh. You guys are great. No, you can stay up here because we're going to go to a break in a second. Mike, do you have that video by chance? Do you know which one I mean? Okay, give him 1 second. This is one of the auction items tomorrow. You guys can watch right here. Who would like to go here? Tuscany, anybody? Does that music just take you to Italy? Oh, I'm ready to go. It's going to be fun, Augie. I think Audrey's going to want you to take her. Don't worry. Oh, if this doesn't put you in peace and freedom, nothing will. Near Cortona. It's good. Oh, I think that's it. Oh, private swimming pool. 7 nights, 6 guests. This is a preview to the auction tomorrow. Okay, I want to end with you, Randy, on these trips, because you and I have traveled together quite a bit. Of course, later we got Wendy speaking, which will be amazing. But what is it about doing these trips that you love?
I mean,
Distribution trips, I mean, with Chair of the Love.
Chair of the Love. I mean, the people you touch, the people you get to help will change your life. You will learn really quickly how privileged we are here in the United States. Even if you're poor in the United States, you're still privileged compared to anything you ever meet. It'll change your life overnight.
Where all have you been?
Nicaragua a couple of times, Mexico a couple of times, Guatemala, Ecuador, Africa, a few of them.
You think he's a go-giver? All right, thank you guys so much. I just want to say shout out to Mock Lending for this chapstick, Rebecca. One of the things that happens to me on a personal level during Dealmaker is I get chapped lips. So when I saw this in the swag bag, I thought, thank you, Rebecca. Have you guys met Rebecca back here yet? Say hello. And she's got a little one on the way, due when? July. All right, it was like yesterday I was holding your little one at Dealmaker a few years ago. Guys, go have a 30-minute or 25-minute break and then come back in, and then we're going to go from there, okay? 25 minutes, all right? Thank you, guys. Thank you.